Hello everyone! Today, our group would like to present a topic titled Maxim of Conversation and Their Floating and Children Literature, based on journal by Vidya Hanum Sari Pertiwi and published in 2013. Let's begin with the introduction. In the 1975, a philosopher named H.P. Grace introduced the cooperative principle. According to this principle, people generally try to be helpful and clear when communicating. To explain this great purpose for conversational maxim. This maxim acts as guidelines for effective communication. Now, why is this topic important, especially in children literature? In both real-life conversation and story, people often break this maxim, not by accident, but on purpose. This is called floating the maxim. Writers and speakers float maxim to create humor, deliver hidden message, or teach something. In children's story, this is done intentionally to entertain or to make the reader think. So, let me briefly explain them. The maxim of quantity means we should say as much as needed, but not too much or too little. The maxim of quality means we should tell the truth and avoid false or unsupported information. The maxim of relevance means we should say things that are related to the topic. And the maxim of manner means we should be clear, organized, and avoid confusing language. But what is the difference between floating and violating? When someone violates a maxim, they might lie or be unclear without the listener realizing it. But when someone floats a maxim, they break the rule or purpose because they know the audience will catch hidden meaning. For example, using a sarcasm, irony, or jokes. This is very common in storytelling, especially for kids, because it adds a layer of meaning and make the story more interesting and engaging.
Hi, everybody. Will continue the explanation, and I will explain about research object and method. The first one is research object. The research analyzed floating maxims in 75 tales, taken from my then treasury of stories and rhymes, which includes fairy tales, teddy bear tales, and animal tales. And the second is methodology. A qualitative descriptive design using coding strategy. The researcher read tales, selected patterns that plotted the maxims, and categorized them based on type and function of plotting. This method is suitable for interpreting hidden meanings in narratives. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Fauzan Rizkyriadi, and on this slide, I will explain the findings of our study focusing on the types of floated maxims and their functions in children's literature. So first, let's look at the total number of floating cases found in the stories. The maxim of quantity was floated 28 times. This happens when a character gives too little or too much information. For example, saying something unnecessary is to delay the truth. Next, the maxim of quality was floated the most, 76 times. This includes things like magical talking, animals, or unrealistic situations, which are not based on real facts. Next is the maxim of relevance, was floated 17 times. This happens when a character says something unrelated, which forces readers to guess the hidden meaning. And next is finally the maxim of manner, was floated only 5 times. This happens when the sentence is unclear, vague, or hard to understand, sometimes on purpose to create mystery. Now, let's talk about the function of these floatings. In other words, the author did it. Why the author did it? The main function is to spark the reader's imagination and make them think deeper. The stories become more interesting when readers must guess the true meaning behind the words. There are also 6 other specific functions. First, generating specific situation. Floating can create surprise or unexpected moments that makes the story more exciting. Second, developing the plot. It helps to move the story forward, especially when something confusing leads to the next event. Third, amplifying the characters' utterance. Strange or funny dialogues help make characters more fun and memorable. 4 is impacting message. Moral lessons are often hidden, not directly stated. Readers must find the message by themselves. 5. Indirectly characterizing. Through actions and speech, we understand what kind of person the character is, without being told directly. And the last 6, creating ambiguous settings. The story doesn't always tell us where or when it happens, so readers can imagine it when in their own world. So, in short, these floatings are not random. They help make story more imaginative, meaningful, and enjoyable, especially for young readers. Thank you.
Okay, in this section, I will present about floating conversational maxim. Okay, in many children stories, writers often break the usual rules of conversation. This is called floating the maxims, and they do it on purpose. Why? Because breaking these rules can make a story more exciting and give it more than one meaning. A simple sentence might actually carry a deeper message. Floating is not a mistake. When a character in a story lies, says too much, or speaks in a vague way, it doesn't mean the writer made an error. Instead, it's usually done to make the reader think more deeply or to send an important message. For example, the character might say something confusing not because they don't know what to say, but because they want to teach a moral or create suspense. Now, what does this mean for language learning? It is very important. Understanding the idea of floating maxim help language learners realize that not all communication is direct, especially in stories and cultural texts. People often say things indirectly. So, if we can recognize when a maxim is being floated, we can understand the hidden meanings better. This also helps improve our pragmatic awareness, our ability to understand the social use of language. Okay, in conclusion, floating conversational maxim is a common strategy in children tells. It makes the story more meaningful, spark imaginations, and teaches valuable lessons. By learning about this, we can enjoy literature more and become better at understanding the deeper message behind the words. Okay, this explanation is supported by Pertiwi Research in 2013, titled Maxim's Violation in Literary Work, where she explains how these violations appear in stories and help to deliver moral value. Okay, that's all of my speech, and thank you for listening, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.